Okay, we are live. Hey, you guys, I see a lot of you in the chat. Hello, 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 you guys. Look at Vicky talking about, come on, T, start the show. Listen, it's been a long 2, 3 days. Man, it's only
Look,
been 2 minutes. Everyone, we're here. We're here. Welcome, you guys. It's been a very interesting week. We have a new soap block
hmm
for a total of 2.5 hours. So yes, 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 it's been a very interesting week to say the least. And we're going to talk a little bit about Young and the Restless briefly before I start that segment because I know a lot of people have been asking me about the recaps for YNR. So I'll go into that in a minute. But how many people we got in the chat, Bree?
oh my goodness. Let's see. We got almost 30 people so far. So everyone's starting to kind of wake their way in.
Yeah, hopefully
Welcome,
the
y'all.
notification popped on out there to the masses so they can come on into the room. Come
Oh, they're
on in.
not going to miss this. We've
Mm-mm.
been waiting,
Mm-mm.
waiting for the gates.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so for those that are new, welcome. For those that are returning, welcome back. And we got 3 shows to talk about this week. We've been anticipating Beyond the Gates for over a year, and I know some of you guys in my chat have been asking me over the last several months, are we going to talk about the gates? We going to talk about the gates or Beyond the Gates. So yes, that's also included, in everything. So, for those again that are new, we recap Young and the Restless, Bold and the Beautiful, now Beyond the Gates. We start with the Young and the Restless first, little housekeeping, Bold and the Beautiful, and then obviously we're gonna do Beyond the Gates as third. Yeah, I'm trying to figure. What do you think? Do you think we should do BTG second, or should we do Bold second and keep the same order?
I think we can keep the same order. To be honest, I I'm trying to really remember all of what happened with YNR. We can probably maybe get that one out the way.
Okay, yeah, that's gonna be real quick. And then at the end, we have our segments, who's flipping the script, who's taking several seats, star of the week, pickle of the week, and the Simple Olympics. So make sure that you hit that like button. It lets the algorithm know that not only do you support the channel, but that they should share the content out to others. And make sure you subscribe to the channel because if you have been here this past week, I have the recaps for the gates. So, yeah, and I know that this week has been pretty interesting. The comments have been promising. So, that's a good thing. And we'll get into that later. All right. So, without any other further ado, we're going to start with YNR. And let me address this right quick. So, for the past several years, and I mean, there's been highs and lows in any particular thing. However, with Young and the Restless for the last couple of weeks, since the end of January, it seems that it has not been as interesting. And I mean, there's other bloggers that's doing pretty much responses on what's going on with YNR because it's just not hitting on anything. And it takes time to do those videos, and I enjoy bringing you guys content, but it's just not getting the the hits, and even bringing in new people for YNR. And that's maybe I have more Bold fans over here, and obviously some BTG fans as well. So that's why I really haven't been investing a lot of time in YNR. I don't really find it interesting except when I see Lily and Damien on my screen. But it allows us to have a conversation with you guys about YNR on this show. So I do watch YNR, and occasionally I talk about it with the rest of the soap cast members in in our group chat. But for the most part, it has been extremely slow. February sweep was not sweeping. The dust was
It was
everywhere.
us sleep.
It was asleep. It wasn't sweeping. You know, okay, Sharon and Phyllis locked up together. Okay, fine. I mean, yeah, they had some funny takes. You know, Sharon Case and Michelle Stafford they can definitely bring comedic relief.
Mhm.
However, everything else, I'm not feeling Sally and Billy. I'm not feeling Chelsea and Adam. This whole thing with Summer and Chet trying to break up Claire and Kyle is just stupid to me when you got a fine man like Chan sitting over there thirsty for you and you trying to get in the middle of something that Kyle don't even want to be involved in. So that's just my take on it. Bobby said February sleeps.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Um, I would say if they had started the Phyllis and Sharon storyline and had that kind of be tied in with the Jordan thing, like we originally heard about in the spoilers,
Exactly.
that would make more sense. But it's like this is happening at the very tail end of February sweeps.
Yeah.
And
Mm-hmm.
like they keep saying, Jordan's gone allegedly, and
Mm-hmm.
Ian's gone allegedly. So it's like, what are they doing this for? I have my theory about who's doing this, but once again, that should have been tied in towards the beginning of the month, in my opinion.
Right before Jordan poisoned herself, allegedly, and before the whole, shooting over at the Newman Ranch. That should have been part of this, which is what they have been talking about since December.
Right. Phyllis should have been at the bottom of that sewer with Sharon.
Yep.
And they
Yep.
could have been working together to get themselves out. Like at least that's what the spoilers were kind of hinting at. But they're in this psychiatric hospital that we've never heard of on the show. I didn't realize there was a second one.
Mm-hmm.
And it reminds me of the movie Saw. Has anyone? A
Yes.
lot of people seen
I
Saw.
thought that's the first thing that came to my mind. Here's this a creepy component to it though, Bree, is that you got some man sitting behind with a creepy voice watching these two women. It just don't sit well with me. I
If
don't
it's a
like it.
man,
But I mean, even the appearance that it gives, I would rather
yeah,
if it was Jordan coming after both of them, which Jordan originally was supposed to. Remember when she was doing all the legwork? She the one ran
yeah,
Phyllis off the road. She was the one that kept poisoning Sharon. That would have been the perfect time when Jordan was terrorizing these two women. Then it make a little bit more sense. I just don't like. We don't know who it is, but it's just creepy to me.
yeah. And like I think the annoying part was like when they were doing like the horn, like that would annoy me.
Right. And then they
But
playing that music that reminds them of what happened at that party. And I'm like, do we have to rehash this? This would have been the perfect thing if they did that during both of their anniversaries back in October and November.
thank you. I was about to say that. Now, the music, I was thinking like, okay, maybe this is Jordan. I thought it was the old stripper music from when Nikki was dancing.
Mm-mm.
But they are tying this into what happened at the gala. And I was doing a little bit of research today and thinking of like what other characters who knew who they were and knew everything that took place. And the only people I can think of after reading all that stuff was Michael, Lauren, but they were dealing with the whole Carmine thing and Lauren's tape that she made with Carmine. And then Summer and Kyle were starting to kind of get together. And this is where Sharon had lied about Summer's paternity, saying that it was actually Jack's kid. But there was only like a handful of people that, like, other person would be Kevin. But I'm like, who, for what, cares about either one of these women?
Right. I
Now,
don't know.
my theory, because they even gave these women common courtesy to call their kids which is interesting, or call their families. And it's like they're taking care of them, whereas this is not a typical situation where um
Bree? Oh, we lost her.
no, I'm here.
Oh,
It's
okay.
going in and out, sorry.
Okay. Well, I'm
But
gonna keep, yeah, cause it's spacing out. I can't hear you.
yeah, but I'm like, who cares about these women enough to even do this? And
Right.
want them to work things out. My honest opinion, I think it's faith. Because Nick said that this girl was out of town with friends and she's been through the whole ride with everybody, through everything. She even took time out of school to, with anything in regards to her mother. She's always taking time out. Now she's able to go out with her friends and Nick doesn't want to be bothered with her. And plus, she was also stuck in the middle of the situation between Sharon and Phyllis, too.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't put it past this girl to do that.
Yeah, well, I don't know who it is. Whatever it is, I'm not feeling this thing. It's too creepy for me, and we got to go and rehash what almost 2 decades of history all over again. And my thing is, if it is Ian or whatever, how is this supposed to get you any closer to Mariah or whoever? I don't understand what the end goal is. It's like we're starting over from scratch. And we've been
Right.
dealing with the Sharon thing since early 2024. It's almost a year now.
Yeah.
So I'm just
And
like,
like
exactly, Jenna. I'm over it too.
it's like why involve Phyllis? I mean, the only other person I can think of, maybe Paul, or I don't know. It's like who's doing this?
Yeah, and then the other thing is, it all comes down to, like they said, this whole thing started with these ladies because of Nicholas. So whatever. I'm just over it, and hopefully they'll give us some type of end game to this, and they get out of this situation, and we can kind of focus on other storylines. I mean, granted, no shade to Sharon Case, but get a girl a break. I mean, God, huh?
I mean, well, yeah, I figured they were going to give her a breather. They should have said maybe saved this for May sweeps.
I guess. I don't know. Yeah, exactly. Gail said February, May, and November sweeps were sleepers. Come on, Y&R and B&B. I like exciting stories, but it was boring and dragging the storylines way too long. Exactly. And oh, wait a minute. I forgot. There was a super chat. Sorry about that, Mari. Thank you so much. She said, love you all. I hope you ladies have a blessed weekend and hope all is well with y'all families. Thank you so much for that super
Thank
chat.
you, Mari.
Yeah, so hopefully we'll get an answer to this. To me, it's just creepy. And then you got this dude saying, let's play and all this. And you got them housed up like two little mice in a wheel. I don't have time for that. Anyway, the other storylines that we had this week, because Sharon and Phyllis took up 2 of the 5 days. We had this thing with Victor not minding his own business. So Lily was stupid enough to go and ask him for information to just use him in her head. Let me use Victor Newman since he owe me to get information on Damien. And she figured that he was just going to stop right there. And of course not.
Yeah, and she has a whole billionaire brother that she could have, who knows the situation, and not trying to use her or Nate, and wants to be helpful, but she went to Victor, who doesn't have the best track record, and she was recently burned by this man. So, where is the logic in that?
Girl, who knows, child? I mean, and now he's digging all into the business and whatnot. And obviously it looked like from the spoilers next week maybe Victor have more, because Lily's supposed to have even more information and stuff like that. And I think Victor's like, well, I gotta look out for Devon. He's married to my daughter. It could affect Winters. Like you really care.
Like you really care. He can really miss me with that. And then Michael, just being the lapdog that he is, he rushed right over. It's like, oh, I'm so helping Victor. What do you need me to work on? The stuff for Jabot? The stuff with this?
Girl.
Yes.
I'm
you
like,
can't tell this man to mind his business.
Well, Lily opened the door. Like you said, why not use your brother? All that money you got. Hire some people to dig into this man's past. But no, you go to Mr. Newman.
Mr. Newman. Go to your brother who actually cares about what happens.
Right. But
all Victor wants to know is who's the why is he working with the billionaire? He wanted more information about the billionaire, nothing about Damien, really.
Right. He wants to know about, what is it, Aristotle something. Dumont. Aristotle Dumont, or whoever that company is. Okay, fine. But what happens when Victor finds out that Damien is Nate's half brother? Okay. Then what? Because you thinking it's something else. The real reason that this man is in town is because Nate brought him here with this whole job situation, trying to reconnect with his mama.
And I don't like the fact that they're making him out to be the enemy. He was, like Keisha saying, he was minding his own business.
Exactly. Should we... they making him look like, oh, he's the whole problem. Y'all came after him.
And he was perfectly fine in L.A. He was all the way in L.A.
Right.
And you brought him all the way to Genoa City.
Girl.
I don't know. And the fact that Lily went to those great lengths to reach out to Victor, and it's like, so are you interested in this man? Are you intrigued by him?
Okay, so
what do you want, Lily?
Here's the other thing. Now, I do like the scenes. That was the highlight of my week, to see the two of them out to dinner, and he's like making his intention known. Are you single? Do you have somebody? So I ain't mad at a man who is intentional.
Like, are we getting a second date?
Right.
And she's like, we'll see. She likes it. It's a different speed for her. She likes it. He's a whole man.
Yeah, well, let's see how long they drag this out, because this whole Damien plot has been slow burning for the last almost 2 months. So I guess we'll see if they're finally, push this thing together. At the same time, even with this information that she's supposed to find out next week, will that still get her in his bed? Because it's bound to happen.
It's bound to happen, and plus, who's in her bed now?
Nope. Her and the lint balls of her sheets.
It's been about a year or so.
Who with Daniel? I guess.
Yeah, because remember, she had left to go see what's going on with Maddie. That happened last January. And then she was on that whole tirade for 2024 to fire him.
And Crystal was pregnant, and she got married too around that time period, because she left to have that baby.
So 2023. So it's been a minute.
Yeah, it's been a while. Anywho, yeah. So that was a highlight.
And he's not, hard to look at. He's definitely easy under my eyes, on mine.
I want to see him without a shirt. Well, we seen him there, but put them two in the scene. I just have a problem with the fact that I think that the writers are going to botch this up. They're going to end up in the room somewhere, and the next thing we know, wake up under the sheets, and I'm going to be mad.
Well, we're going to be hopeful. I mean, beyond the gates, they let it be known they do love scenes, so...
Yeah, we got a whole different group of writers and producers over there.
But I think they're going to give it to us. I mean, we're going to let this kind of build up, and
Your phone went
I'm
out. Your
okay with
phone went
it.
out a little bit, girl.
Oh, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, I'm going to let this kind of build up and see where this goes. So I'm excited for Lily. She finally has a man on the show.
What?
I didn't like Lily's attitude at first,
Mm-hmm.
but I always had an attitude with all the men that she gets involved with at first, and then she starts to kind of not be such an ice queen. But that's just me.
Girl,
Um,
somebody need to do
and
something with her.
Cheryl Hines. That's what I was thinking too. She said, "What if Aristotle is Tucker McCall?" I
I'm
wouldn't put
okay
it
with
past the
that.
writer.
I am absolutely
Yeah,
okay with that because if they bring Tucker back using Trevor St. John, I will be happy about that because I
and
like
then
him.
Phyllis would have a man.
Girl, please, they trying. That's the other thing I'm not happy about is that they're trying to throw this woman in that try to create a triangle with Billy and Sally. They said that in the 2025 spoilers. So that's the other issue I have with the writing, and why another reason I could care less about Billy and Sally being together if Phyllis is going to come in between that anyway.
Yeah, like they can keep that. But at the same time, Billy and Sally need a little bit of something, and Phyllis is that little something.
Girl, I don't want to see another scene. That Paris, the scenes that they had in Paris was just Sleepy Town to me. There was
I keep
nothing
forgetting they're
there.
together.
They have no, I'm
I
sorry, Courtney Hope, Jason Thompson, great actor and actress. I just don't see the chemistry on screen with those two. It's just like they forced them together just because of the whole affair or the one night stand that Chelsea and Adam had.
I agree. Talented Emmy-winning actors, both of them, but I keep forgetting Billy and Sally are together until they're doing scenes together. Like even for Friday's episode, they came into society kissing. Like, oh yeah, they are together. I forgot.
I
That's
mean,
that's
Brie,
every time.
every time they give them a half an episode, because lately that's what they've been doing. I said, you know what, let me find something else to do. I skipped through it. And then when they put Chelsea and Adam on for a couple days this week, now I know there might be some Chatham fans, right? But
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, this is rinse, wash, and repeat. We've done this before.
Yeah, I think I believe J Money is a Chatham fan. If I'm
Yes.
not mistaken. You know, who else are they? Well, we're never, as far as we can see now, we're never going to get Adam and Audra like
That
we've been
would be your
asking.
spice. They're both, he's dark. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, obviously, I wouldn't want him to go off the rails because he's in a good place with his family. He's in a good place with his son, but he can bring that dark energy in a relationship, and Audra would be the perfect person for that.
I agree with that. And plus, I mean, she can flip over her mattress and apparently turn a new leaf. That's how she and Nate are getting along.
Are you still
So
feeling the coupling between Audra and Nate, or is it kind of fizzled?
surprisingly, I'm warming up to those two. I was so against them,
Mm-hmm.
but now I've warmed up to them only because I feel like she's turned her mattress over so she's a little bit more likable. But
Mm-hmm.
when she flips it back for Holden, she's going to go back to her form.
Jasmine said we've already wasted half an hour on this snooze fest.
Okay, all right.
Well, Jazz, listen, we got to talk about it. There are some folks that are chatting about it. I understand, believe me, but I don't do recaps during the week on it, so I want to make sure I do have some dialogue to talk about Y&R for the entire week for those that are interested. See, look at Paris. Paris Barnes said that she is a Chatham fan.
Yeah. She's more than a Lily and Damien. Okay.
All right,
See,
Paris.
everyone has like the couples that they root for. Is there one on Y&R I can really say that I'm a true stan for? Probably not. Until they put Phyllis and Tucker together finally. But I don't mind Chatham. I
Mm-hmm.
just, it's just kind of in the background, kind of like Billy and Sally.
Exactly.
Well,
There's no fire there. Mm-mm.
yeah.
Mm-mm. So,
I
Sandra
don't,
said give Sally and Holden a chance.
Sally and Holt, that'd be interesting. I keep seeing the Damien and Phyllis thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm wondering if they're going to put scenes with those two together.
I don't know about that. Like I said,
What would
they
you
have been.
feel?
I'm not feeling that at all. I really am interested. I'm a Lily and Damien fan right now. I want to see where that goes.
I, I wouldn't mind seeing that either, but no, I want Phyllis with Tucker. That would be
That's.
perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Her and Trevor St. John had great chemistry,
Yep.
amazing chemistry. But
Yep.
even her and Jason Thompson do too.
Yep. Here's the thing. I think. Let me see. Let me see. How should I say this? Sally and Adam were hot 3 years ago, and
Hmm.
everybody was so excited about them because they brought spice, especially when they had their little Newman Media scenes and in there getting it on, and all these other things, and it's just been downhill ever since with who they gonna put her with. They messed up when they threw Nicholas into that whole thing, and I'm not gonna rehash that whole storyline because it was absolutely ridiculous. Even though Courtney Hope did get an Emmy for the losing the baby storyline, right? But
Hmm.
everything else after
Yeah.
that, it's just they put. I just don't understand. They put her back with Adam only for them to be together. Were they together? What, 2 months before he ran off to Baltimore and slept with Chelsea?
It was really short and sweet because she was dragging her feet about getting with him, and Chloe was in her ear until one moment she's like, "Oh, I want to be with Adam," and then shortly after Tia moved her in, and then the stuff with Connor happens. So I think 2 months.
Yeah, it wasn't that long. Only to break them up again and put both two couples that are absolutely snooze fests.
Yeah.
Sorry, Jay, and he's in the chat too.
Hi, Jay. What you doing, Jay?
Mm-hmm. So, I mean, I'm sorry, J Money. I'm not feeling the Chatham thing. We've been there, done that one. Adam gonna do something crazy, or Chelsea's gonna be in her ear, and they're gonna end up broken up all over again.
And then Nick is going to save the day because what else is he doing?
Exactly. Except chasing all the women trying to find them.
Yeah. he already working overtime. Like, where is Sharon? Oh, Phyllis is missing too. Oh, but his cape is pressed and ready to go.
I know. And then they got Chance involved, and obviously they are missing truly. Yeah,
Yeah.
and then of course with Billy worried about Phyllis, that's making Sally feel some kind of way. So I'm like, you know what, y'all, I'm gonna watch Beyond the Gates and Bold, and wait till y'all
Mhm.
figure out what y'all gonna do with this storylines over here. So
Yep. Well, looks like I think we got through all of it. That's all that.
I
I mean,
don't
that's
remember anything else that stands out except the fact that Audra did lie to Nate and didn't tell the full story about her and Holden.
and he simped and he said, "Oh, I forgive you. It's fine. It's in your past. It's okay. I just
Girl.
wish that you would trust me with that." I remember that scene. I was like,
And then Sally called her out for it, talking about, wait a minute, you didn't tell him the whole truth. Well, maybe I would have done the same. Oh, yeah. So then you shouldn't have been mad at Sally and them because they tried to, I mean, not Sally, Chelsea and
Adam.
Adam. You wouldn't have
Yeah.
said nothing. So maybe they should have kept that secret from you, too. Hypocrite.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, Uh, well, that was February sweeps on Y&R.
Yeah, and that pretty much sums up the entire week. I haven't seen
And
Monday's episode, so you?
no, I'll wait.
Like, no, I'll wait. Yeah, I can't. I'm trying to think. Majority of this week was Adam and Chelsea, and then the whole thing in that locked room at the institution with Sharon and Phyllis, and crazy man or woman or whoever got the voice on the intercom. So yeah,
That was it.
that was it.
That's,
And everybody
that's all
running
they
around
gave
looking
us.
for them.
Yeah, that's all, folks.
Yep. And that's the other thing. What type of games y'all? He want them to play games. I mean, we saw a couple of them where, they gave them dates and things like that to remember, to go back to certain parts of their lives. Okay, why are we doing this? For what? Are you trying to make them fight each other, or are you trying to make them come together?
This is like weird therapy. It's ironic that they're at a psychiatric place. And it's like they pointed out dates that kind of hindered any point of them, like, moving forward or reconciling some sort of way for some peace. They're highlighting those specific dates. That's why I think it's a family member who's doing this. And I wouldn't put it past anybody or the writers to make it fake. That's just me.
Well, I guess we'll see when we get to the bottom of all of this and who's behind the intercom. So, and making that crazy noise and playing music and playing games and making coffee and ain't no bathroom in there.
Right. And Phyllis was talking about, like, oh, I need my coffee. Well, you know what coffee does to people?
Yeah. How you going to the bathroom, ma'am?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, maybe there's a bathroom in there. I don't know.
I don't know, girl. You know what, Josh Griffith? Figure it out. Because social media is like, what are we doing? Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Let us move on. 34 minutes.
Look, I'm surprised we got that. Look, that's all they gave us. So, I mean, 30 minutes. That sounds about right.
Yep. All right. How many people we got in the chat now, girly?
We got 120.
Nice. Make sure y'all hitting that like button. We're going to move on to Bold and the Beautiful. I think we got a little bit more to talk about over there in LA. Right, Bree?
I think it's like two major things that happen. I think a lot of the characters are looped into one story, right? Into two different stories.
Well, all roads lead to Luna. Each story, even the Sheila and Deacon conversation is about Poppy, which Poppy is, lamenting about, her daughter and Finn. No, because the Forrester thing doesn't lead back to Luna. So you're right, there is two separate things going on this week.
I feel like the corporate coup is like taking a backseat. It's on the back burner. And it's been Luna Sweeps month. Every episode about Luna.
Well, here's my thing with Bold and the Beautiful writers. You told a big, fat, juicy lie. And I know sometimes y'all cryptic words on the spoilers and whatnot, but you told a big, fat lie on was it Wednesday or Thursday episode about Ridge stepping back into power. Remember that, Bree?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. He powerfully took a seat on Eric's couch.
Girl, I was waiting, and people, other bloggers, and we were all excited. Oh my God, man! Finally, Forresters get the company back. And when that day came, it was nothing like it at all.
Nope.
I was
It,
so mad about that because, first of all, you should have made the February sweeps about them taking the company back. Forrester Creations back all the way, I think it was called Forrester Originals back in the day. Am I correct?
um,
They had a different name, and then when they got the company back, they changed it.
yeah.
I forgot what
There's
the.
two different.
Right.
They had both names at one point, but
Mm hmm.
it's Force Creations now.
Exactly. And so, pretty much for the entirety of the show, for the last 38 seasons, Forrester is the having that company is the backbone of the show. Just like Newman Enterprises and Jabot are the backbone for Y&R. Why would you?
Yeah.
How long is this supposed to last? And then instead of giving them the company back, you throw Daphne in a triangle with Hope and Carter next week.
Yeah.
Girl,
And this is a show about fashion designers, and we got no fashion.
they don't even have designers, remember?
Yeah, exactly. Except for Zende. Zende putting all the extra overtime and everything to make Hope all her tacky fashion.
Well, here's the other thing. That Hope is selfish. And I'm sorry, I know there might be some Hope fans and some Logan fans. There's no way you can see your man that miserable,
Yeah.
knowing that his conscience is eating him alive. And you're going to sit up there and pretty much say, suck it up, buttercup.
Yeah. That's exactly. It's okay. Everything's going to be fine underneath your leadership. She's happy about every other line, the jewelry line, the perfume line, nothing about her line. She's not even happy about the tacky and ugly fashion she's about to produce.
Yep. Everybody, she's the only one bouncing around Forrester happy. Everybody else is like, yay.
Yeah, that's what people are saying. Angela and Belinda, she is very selfish and self-centered. She's so drunk with power, it's not even funny. She took advantage of the situation. She's using Carter as the scapegoat because his name is on the paperwork, and she's just going along for the ride. So, and she's just reaping all the benefits. So when she falls, I will not fall at all. I can't wait for her to fall. I thought it was going to be during February sweeps, like they were anticipating for us.
There's no reason that, and I get it. Lisa Yamada is a great actress. I know y'all want to keep her around, but there's no reason that after dragging out this coup since last fall that we're going into March and you lie to us the last week of sweeps only to create a triangle, and the Foresters, Eric is sitting on his butt at home crying. Ridge is like, oh yeah, we'll get it back. Justin is pretty much a non-factor, I guess, because he can't help them figure out how to get the company back. It's like,
Yeah.
Can we get back to business?
And they just sitting over there doing nothing. They just like hoping, like, okay, well, you go over there, Daphne, and you let us know what happens. And Steffy, what happens? They just over there at the house,
Girl, I don't know.
crying and complaining.
And the thing is that unless they're gonna do like a last minute, I don't know, knock out the park type of thing, because clearly when Carter filed those LLC papers, he was already fired. So it wouldn't have been legal anyway. You can't work on behalf of a company that you no longer work for.
Exactly. They really could have wrapped this up for February. I honestly anticipated that, but I guess they're going to drag this out a little bit longer. Why? I don't know. And Cheryl Hines, that was my thoughts exactly. Why was she wearing a potato sack?
Oh my God, you're crazy.
Look, if that is hope for the future, if that's hope for the future, Carter is a poor leader. This is the fashions about to come out of forced creations under his leadership. This is but ugly, and she knows it, but she's too drunk with power to even see this.
And I gotta mention something that Jenna talked about, and I agree with that because that gut punched me when Daphne told Carter, "Make a deal with them, keeping hope for the future." Did you hear her
And I'm
say
like,
that?
excuse me?
She was like, "Just as long as you keep hope for the future, you can get them their company back." What? So
I'm
you're
like,
gonna go
girl.
back to your best friend who you betrayed for hope and says, "I'll give you your company back as long as you keep HFTF"?
So, and like, once again, Hope would have learned
Nothing. Which this
and plus
story. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Bree.
that's what I say. That line failed all of last year.
Mm-hmm.
Keeping the line for what? Why?
Jenna said, "Excuse me, Daphne is there because of Steffi, not because of Carter." Can you imagine if Steffi found out about what she proposed?
Yes, Steffi would not be having that. She would send Daphne on her way back to Paris.
Ain't no
First
way
flight out.
Steffi would agree with that.
And plus, once again, even Daphne, look at what that girl has on. But then again, look at what Daphne has on too. Like, maybe she wants to model for Hope for the Future. I don't know. Wants to keep it on.
I don't know. That
But
whole thing.
The girl walked in with a potato sack, and you're telling this man, maybe you should negotiate Hope for the Future to stay on. For what?
Mm-hmm.
A bag of Lay's potato chips look better than this.
Yeah, I know, Jenna. I saw your comments on the videos that I've done this week, and I also saw in the group chat. Jenna is not happy about this show at all. She don't like the situation with the Luna thing and all of that, and I don't blame her. I wanted the Foresters to get the company back by now. They could have made that about the sweeps, come up with something crazy underhand to oust the two of them, or work out something with Carter. No, you got Daphne coming up in there talking about, "Oh, well, if you tell them you'll keep hope for the future, then I'm like, what? Where was that at?
Right.
That wasn't part of the deal
at all. And she knows Steffi has an issue with Hope. As a matter, she knows Ridge does too.
Mm-hmm.
Why would they ever negotiate a deal like that? And you're speaking on behalf of the Forcers.
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I kind of want to see the interaction, see if they go with something with him and Daphne. But now, based on the promo for next week, now we got a whole triangle because Hope is going to try to fight Daphne over this man. Why? You got her out of the triangle with Steffi and Liam.
Yeah. Baldo said, "Do you guys think Daphne is scared of Hope?" No. Who was scared of Hope?
Well, here's the thing, though, Bree. She's in Hope is in a catch-22 because that line is, I mean, her perfume line, she's one of the biggest perfumiers in the world, right? Her perfume line has now officially teamed up with Forrester. The numbers are flying through the roof. What you gonna do? You gonna oust Daphne after y'all just signed a deal that took off?
Exactly.
What you gonna do?
And then I think the preview for next week, you better stay away from my man. Oh, so you have an issue with a woman trying to get at your man? Oh, interesting,
girl. But it's the writing. I'm like, why are we doing a triangle? Get it? Would you get a Foresters back their company and let's keep it moving?
And can we get to some actual fashions instead of the yellow tablecloth and potato sack, please?
Right. And I mean, even if they want to take the writing with the company in a different direction, they bring the Foresters back. If they even choose to say, hey, the jewelry line was a hit, the perfume line was a hit, we'll keep those things. Okay, fine. It's a part of what Carter implemented, because I would assume they're trying to get him out of the trouble. Because obviously Ridge will probably be like, well, you can stay, but Hope can't. So I don't think that he'll be kicked out on the street. You know what I mean? But
even though he should, the Foresters are better than me. This man would have been disbarred. There's no talking. You're not my friend. You're not anything. You went after my family's company. You stripped my father, who was the founder of this company, any rights. No, we're not friends. We're not anything.
Yeah, but they gonna keep him on. You know that. So plus he's helping with the writing too. So I mean, I guess he can go back behind the scenes, but I'm like, okay, we had enough of the coup. Can we get back to giving the Foresters their company back? So yeah. And as for Taylor,
speaking of do nothing,
yeah,
she does nothing on the show. I'm sorry. I love Taylor. Forever a Taylor fan for many years. What is Taylor doing? We see her more at Eric's house on the couch.
But don't she stay there with him now?
Exactly. She's so happy to be up underneath Ridge at that house. Like, he's not at work, so she has all that time to have him to herself. She doesn't have to worry about Brooke because he's mad at Brooke right now. Right now. But what else is she doing? She just agreeing. She's just repeating everything back. Like, oh yeah, Ridge. Like Steffy has went through so much, and you went through so much, and I'm going to be here for you. That's all you can do. You just sitting there. You're not doing nothing.
Wow.
You already do nothing.
Right.
And I remember last year saying that Brooke was the houseplant. Now Taylor's the houseplant.
Yeah, girl. I mean, obviously they got her taking calls and stuff like that from clients, I guess, but she's sitting up under Ridge all day.
Exactly. What happened to opening up your practice? What happened to not having to worry about a man? Like your daughter, your kids, everyone has gone through all this emotional, dramatic turmoil, and you're not using your psychiatric degree for nothing. It's just sitting there collecting dust.
Girl, just yeah. And so then, which leads us into this other side of the storylines with this Luna situation. So Finn finally break the news to Steph that, he slept with Poppy and a kid came out of it. And that kid happened to be Lunatic Luna. And she went from, oh my God, we can get through this, into Luna being his daughter to wait, I don't know. And then she almost ran. And then she was like, nope, no, I ain't going to run. We'll figure this out.
He anticipated that. He's like, I know you're going to run. You're going to leave.
Well, that's how she got in that situation with Luna in the first place.
Exactly. That's why it didn't make any sense when Taylor said, like, she's never had to run from a situation.
You heard that too, huh?
Like, that's all she's been doing. She ran because Hope kissed this man. She ran because the fact that he was able to get Sheila out of town when she wanted him to get her out of town. All she's done is run in this whole marriage.
Girl, when Taylor said that, I'm like, I was listening and I'm working in the same time. When I heard Taylor say that, I'm like, wait, what?
Yeah.
She don't never run?
And I'm like, how would you know?
Right. You've been gone.
How would you know?
Because man.
Once again, Taylor's a do nothing. She's making all these assumptions. She hasn't seen all of what her daughter has done. And that's why I said, like, how is she a counselor? Because you can't make your daughter take accountability or encourage her to take accountability for running all the time. This man anticipated her running because this is all she does.
Exactly.
So But I'll give her credit. She didn't do it this time. This time.
Yeah, well, I think the only reason why she didn't do it because she think that that girl is behind bars.
Yep.
That's why.
She gonna run. Oh, she's going to run.
Mm-hmm.
when she finds out Luna's behind is at Bill's house. Oh, she's gonna really let Bill have it too.
Mm-hmm.
I can't wait for that, and Bill deserves it.
Yeah, because all that's another thing that's been part of stupidity in the writing is Bill getting this girl out of jail, locking her up in that house when she has a life sentence. You're 40 years older than her, so who's going to be responsible? Just say Finn never came and Bill had her in that house. Who's supposed to be responsible for her for the next, I don't know, 60 to 80 years?
That's Remy.
Who, Liam? Remember, don't nobody supposed to know that she's there. So just
Remy.
Let's play this out, Bree. So Bill get to be 80 years old. Luna is now what, 40 something?
Mm-hmm.
And so, whatever happens at the end of life, whether he goes to somewhere else, to live, or something happens, what, Luna just go back to prison? They come and scoop her up and say, well, your caretaker can no longer be your guardian, so we're going to take you back. That none of that made sense to me.
Mm-mm. No, at all. And I'm curious to know what Finn's reaction is going to be to the fact that Bill just assumed the role and didn't let any of her family know that he took her out of prison.
Right.
So Bill got a lot coming his way, and I'm like, was it even worth doing?
Yeah, it's just because they had bad mamas and they trauma bonded over and they understand each other. How?
Yeah. I don't know no more. And Wobby 13, he said, how did Finn get past the gate? When has Bill ever had reliable security?
Exactly. So
he don't even lock his doors.
So obviously this is a way to redeem this girl. And more than likely he might get a rehab, get his father, who's a criminal attorney, to get her off or get her some type of therapy, and saying that she's guilty by reason of insanity due to her childhood, and she should have known her father, and Poppy kept everybody away, and she was a druggie. And I mean, where else are we gonna go with this? Just like Sheila got out on a technicality.
Yeah, and some bribing to the judge.
And then they really go ahead. I'm sorry.
Finn is going to have to choose between his wife and his daughter. And the choices that he makes is going to spell everything out for Steffy.
Yep. I agree. I agree.
And Liam's going to be right there. He's already there in the bushes just waiting for Steffy. He's waiting for her. So he can catch her and get him a woman now. It's been a minute for him too.
Mm-hmm.
But Finn, actually, let me say this. Poppy and Finn basically handed Steffy over on a silver platter to Liam. Because the fact that this even came out is just such a mess. And we still need to have Lee's reaction, Jack's reaction. And I want to see that confrontation between Steffy and Bill. There's just so much mess. And I'm wondering, what was it all worth? And then you got Sheila just wanting to be grandmother of the year now.
Yeah, that's the other thing I was about to bring up as well, because they laid it on thick with the dialogue between Sheila and Poppy talking about, I don't get to see my grandson. And I really would like to see him, and Poppy sitting up there looking at her like, well, you got a grandchild, all right.
Yeah.
I kind of wish
She's
they would cross Lucy over too, because I mean, Lucy's her grandchild too through Daisy.
majority of Sheila's kids and grandchildren now are crazy. They definitely pulled from her genetics.
Mm.
Seriously,
What would you think about them turning Finn dark?
I mean, the fact that he slept with his adoptive aunt kind of makes him dark, and he also kept that a secret.
Yeah, but I'm talking about like plotting, cunning, doing some Sheila type work or Luna type work.
You know, and I kind of touched on this in our group chat. They keep bringing up Hayes's paternity, and he was the only one after the whole Vinny thing who let everyone know, yeah, I'm the father.
Mm-hmm.
No one's really gotten any confirmation, and we know this man can keep a secret.
Mm-hmm.
Hayes is the only real thing connecting Steffy and Finn.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't put it past the writers to make it to where Liam is actually the father, but Finn wanted to keep Steffy. Because we see how loyal he is to a fault to this girl, risking his life and everything.
Mm-hmm.
I can see him going dark that way, but would he go dark to unalive somebody? I don't know. But once again, he could definitely pull from his birth mother's genetics without question.
Gotcha. Now, I'm wondering how are they going to redeem her? They could do it like they did Felon Flo.
Oh, I forgot about her.
Yeah, so she committed some heinous, I guess, corporate crimes when you're talking about fraudulent papers and handing of money and selling kids and all this kind of stuff, pretending to be the mom, and then they made her a Logan through Thorn, and she ended up giving an organ to Katie, which in so many ways redeemed her that way through the family. So is it possible that maybe they might do something like that for Luna to redeem her? Because some kind of way, if Lisa's going to be around for a while, as they are building the next generation with Remy and Electra and her, based on what Belle had said, they're going to have to redeem her out of that corner that she's in. So could something happen to Hayes, and that's her half little brother, and maybe she have to give a donation or something?
I don't know. They would have to, for one, have storylines past the contract expiration, and two, really depends on the scenario. But do I feel like there's going to be any redeeming quality? It's kind of hard to be redeemed after unaliving two people in cold blood, essentially, because she chose to drug these men. Yeah. And it resulted, and she also kidnapped Steffy and also tried to unalive her too. So I don't think the Forsters were going to ever forgive her. I think she'll have some redeeming qualities with Finn and his side of the family. I think even with Lee, because that's technically her niece grandchild. That is so crazy.
Right.
Her niece grandchild. So she's blood, she's family. But with the Forsters, with Steffy, no way. No way possible.
Yeah, it didn't even work when Sheila saved Kelly's life.
Nope. Sure didn't.
So, I mean, but that's the way they wrote it. Obviously, they're just going to keep that 6 degrees of separation from Sheila. Yeah. So, I don't know. And then Finn's reaction, obviously he's excited to see her. She looks like, what the heck is going on right now? Why are you here? So the rest of that is going to come up next week. But at some point, can we get back to fashion?
Yeah. Remember, like, the fashion shows between the Spectras and the Forsters and, like, the other companies trying to steal Forster designs. Like, I miss that element of the show.
Girl, listen. The week, not this week, but the week before, the week before when they were showing reruns from the past. That first episode on Monday the 17th was that fashion show when Eric was going through the whole coughing spell.
Yeah.
But I enjoyed the fashion show, the beautiful dresses and all of that.
Yes.
And I'm like, I missed that.
Me too. That black dress that Katie had, I think one of the models was wearing it, but I think Katie ended up wearing it. Stunning. That was like one of my favorite dresses that they've had on the show thus far. But once again, that was a fashion show, but it was in-house. They need other like competing companies or something. That's why when it came to this whole coup situation, it would have made more sense if Hope and Carter started their own company and actually competed with Forrester.
Right. Thank you, Vicky. She said my recaps are my recaps of Bold are better than the actual show.
See, exactly.
And it's shorter. You don't have to sit through a half an hour.
Exactly. More entertainment. When look, she tries to weed everything out and give you the meat and potatoes because it's a lot of fluff in the midst of all this. Trying to think of what else happened, but
that was it. We only had those two storylines this week.
Yeah, I thought it was really funny how Poppy has no friends. She befriended Sheila of all people.
Exactly. And Sheila gave her the listening ear. We're understanding each other because we're missing our kids. And I'm like,
apples and oranges.
Right. And Sheila gonna be more than happy to take Luna up under her wing when she realizes that's her granddaughter.
Look, that's the expert, right? Of all things. Look, she gonna help Luna get away with all her crimes. Like, look, I know this judge, I know this bailiff, I know the corrections officer. Right. Like, this is the expert right here.
Yep. Yeah, Tanisha, I can't wait for Lee's read. Lee is gonna hit the ceiling.
The question is, at who? Her son or Poppy?
Hold on one second. Yeah, girl, please. Please, I'm telling you. Let me do something here.
And I was proud of Deacon too for standing his ground. He's like, look, I don't want to forgive Luna. She took away two important friends of mine. These are the only friends that Deacon ever had, and she took them away that quick.
Yeah. Well, hopefully we can get back to everything, get the Foresters back in place, figure this thing out with Luna, see what else is coming up. I would like to see Daphne with Carter just to, see what happens. I was never...
Did hear chemistry?
A little bit.
You feel it's more than her and Zende?
They seem like buddies to me. They seem like they're just cool with each other. They seem like definite friend zone to me.
I don't know. I'm willing to see how it all plays out. But once again, we need fashions. This is the show about fashion designers, and what happens in their lives is supposed to be like in the background. So, like I said, I we'll see. We shall see. I'm just hoping it's not a line of potato sacks like what Hope has on.
Yeah. We will see. All right. Last but not least, moving on to the gates.
Yay! We waited for so long and we're here, y'all.
Belinda said, please let's do Beyond the Gates now.
Look, we here.
We are here, Belinda. We are here.
Oh, we got through both soaps within an hour.
That's
nice.
Girl. That's good business.
Yes.
So hopefully everybody, because there's been some, if you've been across social media with Beyond the Gates, there have been some photos going around about the family tree. Because obviously we got a bunch of new characters on a new show and everybody's trying to figure out who is who. Of course,
Yes.
we know the main characters, Bill and Lord, look at me, Danny, Bill, Danny, Haley, Vernon, Nita, and then her sister Nicole. But it's a lot of other people like Ashley and Andre and Smitty and all the rest of the characters. So trying to play a little catch up. But there's several plots I'm seeing in the show. Oh my,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. Okay, you know what? Let me run a poll right quick. How many people in the chat?
We had 128.
Okay. All right, my soapies in the chat. On a scale of 1 to 10, this is the first week. Let me know 1 to 10, 5 being average, 10 being outstanding, 1 being just poor. What would you give it? Let me see. We've now had our first week, and obviously there's more plots to come. Let me see. It should be coming in pretty quickly. I don't know if my... okay, here come Jenna. Bridget gave it a 10. Belinda gave it a 7. Allison 10. Melissa gave it a 1. Gail 9. T.A.
Okay.
Okay. 7 is
Definitely
good.
above average.
Yeah, we only had the 1.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So basically everybody's on more toward liking it. Cheryl says she gave it an 11. All right, Cheryl, I see
Okay.
you. Bobby
And
gave it a
Bobby gave it a
5.
5.
Okay, that's
Oh,
average. That's okay in the middle.
yeah. Not bad for the first week.
But I think it's a lot of plots unfolding.
Mm-hmm.
So of course, we have this ongoing situation with Danny trying to deal with Bill marrying their daughter's ex best friend. Okay, so that's the
Little
biggest
heifer.
plot, huh?
Little heifer.
Yes, Miss Haley. Okay.
Yep.
Other plots that's going on is Leslie and Eva. So it seems to me that Eva might be Ted's daughter. Is that what you see?
Yeah. He said, you can finally be with your father. I was like, oh, Lord. Not my Ted. Not my Teddy. Oh.
We also have Martin having nightmares, and whatever this nightmare is, it's got to be connected to what Bill is holding over the family that his husband don't know about.
Yeah, and it was to the point where Madame Dupree told everybody in the family they have to go to this sorry wedding.
Yeah, I wasn't happy about that, but obviously Bill got some info that's pretty darn huge that could, I guess, destroy that whole family or something, and Martin is in the center of it.
I think we got a special guest.
Who?
Hello.
Wait.
Oh, I thought.
Oh, Keish.
Hey, y'all.
Girl, she snuck in the back door. I'm like, who?
I'm just listening. I just seen the alert. I was like, oh, we have a special guest. And you right on time. We're talking about the gate.
Girl, listen, we got through Bold and Y&R in a little over an hour. That's how.
That's what I'm talking about. They don't deserve any more than that.
Oh my goodness. Did you want to throw some stuff out there right quick that stuck out to you from either show? She said no.
No. Neither one. Nope. I'm good.
So what did you think about the overall plots unfolding on Beyond the Gates?
I'm intrigued for sure, especially the whatever it is that Martin is having nightmares about.
Mm-hmm.
I can't wait for that to come out. I Did you guys give whatever your guesses were to that?
I don't know. Whatever it is, it's got to be huge because I think it's tied to whatever Bill has over the family that the
Yeah,
Duprees don't want to get out.
yeah. Me, I think so too. I My guess, which is, I mean, probably typical or cliche. I think maybe he accidentally killed someone. Or sorry,
Mm-hmm. I got you.
unalive somebody.
Mm-hmm.
Not not anything malicious. Nothing done on purpose. Just something that was an accident, but they didn't want their name tarnished, so they do what they normally do on soaps. They take the dumb route and try to cover it up. So I think maybe because we saw what Bill did earlier this week with his old football buddy that came to his office.
Mm-hmm.
How he asked him to help him out with his son, and what did his son do? Did he rob somebody?
All I know it was a felony.
Yeah, I forget what it was, but
He
I mean,
broke into somebody's home.
yeah, he made a phone call and it was taken care of. So I could imagine he must have done something really big for them to be this scared of Bill.
Mm-hmm. Now, what do you
You know
think?
what
Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say? I think he did unalive somebody. It's kind of giving me a Thorn Forrester, and what happened like in the earlier seasons where he was having nightmares and bad dreams, and he was unaware that he shot his own brother. So it could be like an accident like that they're kind of like pulling from as like a reference, or kind of like it, especially since the head writer was from Bold. I wouldn't put it past her to pull from over there and give Martin
too much from over there.
But he definitely did something criminal, without question.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. But when Bill brought it up to him, did it look like he wasn't? He was kind of unsure what he was talking about, or did I pick?
Maybe.
Go ahead.
That was the other thing I wasn't sure of this week as well. Was Does he know that he did something, or was it something that he's unaware of, but Bill and his parents know about it,
Right.
and they're also trying to protect him from finding out what he did?
Yeah. That's a like I said. There's a lot of secrets behind that gate. So I
Because
mean,
I feel like if any of the kids, like if Danny knew or if Nicole knew, they would have told them why they're forcing them to go to this wedding, but they never explained to them why they had to go.
yeah, that is true. So it's something that only the parents know.
Yeah, that's what it
The
seems
grandparents.
Yeah, the grandparents, the matriarch and the
His
patriarch
grandparents.
know.
Yeah.
That's interesting. What do you think about what happened where Danny ended up going up to Bill trying to get back with him?
Ugh. Secondhand embarrassment. She was so desperate.
Yeah. I mean, after you just had an amazing night with Andre.
Right.
It must not been that amazing.
Well,
I think it
she's
served a
desperate.
purpose.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't mean it wasn't amazing. I just think she's desperate to stay with the man that she's been with since she was 19. And it's just, I hated it.
I
hated
didn't like that part at all. I'm like, why would you beg? And the way that the dialogue was is that he had been having affairs over the years.
Right. That's the other thing. Yeah, that's the other thing. This man has been cheating on you. It sounds like basically their entire marriage, and you're going to beg to get back with him as if she can't move on and find somebody just as fine for herself.
Shoot, Andre was willing to. That dude get. Go ahead, Keish.
Andre apparently is out in the streets.
Yeah, he belongs to the streets.
Yeah, he told his uncle, like, look, I got room in my heart for all kinds of women. That man ain't trying to settle down with nobody.
Mm-mm.
And she knew that. Look, he served his purpose for that night.
Yep.
Like, okay, thank you. Pack
So-
up your bags. That
so
was
Keish,
okay.
Are you saying that he's community D?
He sure is. And he admitted it himself. He owns up to it, and that's quite all right, as long as he knows it.
Because he still, I think he still want to get with Ashley, too.
Yeah, didn't he ask about her?
Mm-hmm. They in that elevator together with that pregnant woman.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What do you think about Leslie and Eva?
They seem like they're going to be a good time.
You think
Both of them messy. It's not just the mom being messy, the daughter messy too.
Yeah,
So, I mean,
that's not her daughter.
Well, her guardian, whoever she's supposed to be to her partner, whatever it is. It seems like she's like a mother figure to her.
Yeah.
In a way. But they both.
Are they, or are they really mother and daughter, and they're making it look like to everybody else that she was adopted? Because why is she so invested? I don't know. I gotta dig deep into that a little bit more as time go on.
Mm-hmm.
Because remember, they said don't nobody really know these two.
No.
Yeah.
They just popped into town recently, and she became friends with the lady with the short hair, Mona. I think that's her name.
Mm-hmm.
Wasn't she also? Weren't they also out to eat with Nicole's mother? The lady with the curly blonde hair, the long curly blonde hair. Because weren't they all at the hospital together?
Nicole.
Yeah, that was Ashley's mom.
Ashley's mom.
Sorry,
Yeah,
not Nicole.
Mm-hmm. Ashley's mom and the assistant girl's mom.
Mm-hmm.
That Leslie ran off on the road. I'm like, is it really that deep? It makes me wonder if Ted is really Eva's father. And I'm like, please don't make him a bad man, as fine as he is.
Well, here's where they kind of dropped a little nugget. So remember when Andre and what's their daughter name?
Kat
was out there doing that video, and they was talking about how they met, and they was like, somebody introduced her. I don't know, introduced us. I don't remember who that was. And I'm like, I bet you it got something to do with those two.
With Leslie,
without
question.
Yep. Now, my thing is, I would assume, because they crossed paths when she was on that elevator. Remember, Ted got off the elevator, and Leslie and the rest of the ladies got on. I would think he would recognize her if, maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, and he clearly didn't.
Right.
Yeah. Just staring my man down like.
Listen, all the
wait,
gentlemen.
you claiming Ted?
Huh?
I'm claiming Ted and Bill.
You can have Bill.
That man is the tallest man on the show. I think he's like 6'5", 6'6".
Yeah, he's
6'5". Tall drink of water.
I mean, Haley looks like she got to be probably about 5'4".
Look, she looked like a child bride today. Without question.
Isn't that what Danny called her?
Yeah, a child bride.
Mm-hmm.
But he's huge. He's towering over a lot of people. But yeah, I look. He's good to look at.
I noticed that when he was standing next to Vernon in the episode today, when they were standing at that table talking. I'm like, man, I didn't realize how tall he was compared to everybody else for some reason.
Yeah, I mean, even when Danny, which obviously Carla is standing in front, he's tall.
Yeah.
He towers over everybody.
Yeah, he does. Yeah. Handsome man. Very handsome, very sexy. But, man, that character is...
And listen, I told Bree, he's moving like Victor Newman in these streets. Putting threats on the table and all this kind of stuff. And I'm like, oh, yeah.
He a finer version. I mean, I can see. Look, the way that Danny has been going around town, acting crazy, making threats, punching people, slapping people, everything, pulling the gun on people. Look, she did not want to give that up, and apparently, it's been over 30 years. And the people at the gates, please help us with this age discrepancy, please.
What do you mean?
Because in the first episode, she said that she had Naomi when she was 17.
Okay.
And they made it seem like Naomi was 23. And then come to find out, like a couple of days later, she's talking about she's been married to Bill for over 30-something years. So she went from being age 40 to like almost close to 50 now. And Naomi has a whole law practice. And then Chelsea, I would assume, is in her mid-20s, because they made it seem like they were only, Naomi and Chelsea were just a few years apart. So the ages were kind of confusing. Then you have Martin, and he has 2 adoptive kids who he's been raising with his husband, who are teenagers now. But they were raising those kids for about over 10 years.
Yeah.
So
yeah, because they referenced something about them being, they missed them being small or something like that.
Yeah. So I would assume Martin is in his 30s. So I'm like, how old is all these people?
Well, I'm assuming, because remember when they start casting, Vernon and Anita was supposed to be in their 70s. And then the next characters down, because I remember doing a video way back a year ago when they were trying to give a description of the characters. And so, like, Danny and them are supposed to be in their mid-40s, almost 50. I remember that. And then the 20 and 30-year-olds, they were casting for too. So I'm assuming Nicole and Danny are in their 40s, which Carla Mosley is 44 years old. So, and a lot of people were saying like the same thing with Rebecca Budig and Jacqueline. It's like, oh, she's too young to be her mom. Well, here we go again.
Well, I feel it's a little different with this, because there was a picture where Carla was sitting next to the girls who were playing her daughters. They all look the same age. I feel like her and Naomi look the same exact age.
So I could buy her having like a couple of early 20-something daughters, if she, with her being in real life, with her being in her mid-40s. If she's supposed to have married Bill young at 19, I could see that happen. I could see that, but saying that she's been married to him for over 30 years ages her a lot more than just.
So did they actually say married, or they've been knowing each other for 30 years?
Married for over 30 years.
That don't even make sense. Yeah, then there's a discrepancy, because if she's in her 40s, that means she got married as a teenager?
Well, she said she got married at 19. Or I don't know if she said she got married at 19 or they met when she was 19.
Okay, so say if they got married when she was 19, that would make her, what is that, 49?
Exactly. And her daughter she said she was a successful lawyer for over 10 years. She has her law practice. So I'm like, how old is Naomi now? Because it's like completely different from what they were saying on Monday's episode. She said 17. She had her at 17. So I don't know. That's the only complaint I have with the show, is just the age discrepancy. Because I'm like, Martin has like almost grown children. Like, how old is Martin? And he's like,
isn't Martin their brother, correct?
Martin is Nicole's son.
Yeah.
Is what? I didn't hear you,
Keish. He's Nicole's son. But that's what we were talking about in the group chat, is he should have been their brother, I think.
Yes.
Right, that doesn't make any sense. Okay, because I thought that, so he's their, okay. Yeah, because Martin called Vernon that's his grandfather.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So to me, like, Danny and Chelsea is her other daughter, right? The youngest. Like, That makes sense because she looks like she's in her like early 20s. She looks like she's about 21, 22.
Yep.
But the Naomi she has to be,
In
she's
her
been
late
practicing law
20s.
for, yeah, she's been practicing law for 10 years. She's got to be in her 30s
How
by
long
now.
how long are you in law school? So undergrad is 4. How many years of law school is it after undergrad?
I don't know if is it 2?
Okay,
Maybe
so that
2 or
would
3.
put her at 23 or 24 when you graduate from law school. And 10 years after that would put her in her early 30s.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, you were in law school, Keish?
Me? Oh, no.
Oh.
No, no.
Wait a minute. I could have got
No.
Oh, TA says law school is like 3 years after undergrad. So you usually, if you went in at 18 and graduated at 22, 3 years would put you at 25. So that would put, in 10 years after that, would have put her somewhere in her early
Her
to mid
30s.
30s.
Mm-hmm.
So she would be my age. So once again, that.
Well, then you said she had her at 17?
Yeah, that's what she said in Monday's episode.
Well, that still puts her at somewhere at 50.
Yeah.
Yeah, she said over 30 years.
Yeah, okay. Well, I don't want to get stuck on that, but
Yeah.
So that means that Bill isn't her real father, right?
No, those are his kids. Naomi and Chelsea are his kids.
what did y'all think
Oh, so-
about Naomi?
Okay.
Was it Naomi? Yeah, telling her daddy off.
I loved it.
Beautiful. Loved every bit of it. That actress got some supporting, award-winning acting. Good for her.
Mhm.
But it needed to be said.
Yeah.
I was very proud of her for saying that, except for the part where she said she wishes he was dead.
Yeah,
I
I
think that's a
don't.
bit disrespectful.
Yeah.
I thought she said you were dead to me.
It's still disrespectful. But everything else was A1. I can't wait for her to tell little Heifer off. That's what I want to hear.
That girl. How
Haley.
many people did she try to pull aside this week to have a conversation with to try to convince them to forgive her? Like, girl, you just slept with this woman's, you was cheating with this woman's husband, your best friend's father, people who have taken you in because apparently she's an orphan, right? And they say she was an orphan. She didn't have
Yeah,
any
she ain't
family.
got no family.
And you expect these people to just forgive you and be okay with you while you're prancing around just, gleefully talking about how you're getting ready to get married? No, that's not how things work. And she she did it with Nicole. She wanted to talk to Danny.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta let people decide when they're ready to forgive you, if they are ever ready to forgive you. But it's almost as if her and Bill both want them to make the two of them feel comfortable again.
Yeah. I was disappointed with Nicole. Like, you should have kicked this girl out of your house. She came to you with some cold, funky, stale cookies talking about, well, I didn't press any charges against your sister, so maybe you guys could see that as a peace offering and let me into the community. No. The way that Nicole handled all of that was making me mad. I'm like, kick this girl out. We don't have to like you. We don't like you. Keep your funky cookies that she had sit in the car and say, like, oh, I meant to give you these. Well, you could have kept them.
Well, Nicole told her, take your cookies and go.
My thing is that Haley is stupid because of the fact that, number one, obviously Bill's been cheating on his wife multiple times before, and she actually think that she gonna be the end game for this man. How you start out is how what do we used to say on this show? How you start out on BS, you end on BS.
How you get them is how you lose them.
Yep.
And she can get hers. And this is a known cheater, because Danny said she kept her head down. Every time he cheated, it was only until he waved this girl in everybody's faces and also left her for him. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, she's not special. She'll realize that one day, little heifer.
But then oh, go ahead, Keisha. I'm sorry.
I was just gonna say, women or people like that always think that they are the ones that are going to change a cheating man.
Yeah, he ain't gonna, cause somebody else is gonna stop through there. Who knows? He might try to hit up on Nicole. I mean, he just has no, yeah. So she want to go down that road, and then she turn around and says that I don't want your money. Okay, well, why are you marrying this man? Because I clearly, well, I mean, unless she truly think that this man loves her.
She thinks it's a fairy tale ending. He had to blackmail people to succumb to your wedding.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And they don't like you. They dressed for a funeral. They don't like you.
Considering that the Duprees were the ones that took her in, it sounds like that was basically her family. So she risked everybody in her life to be with this man who's probably going to cheat on her maybe a couple months after they've been married.
Right.
And then who are you going to have when he divorces you?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah. And she was his paralegal?
Oh, I don't know.
Oh, was she?
Yeah. Because I was trying to figure out, like, what was she doing? I thought she was just a mattress turned fiance. So she is actually his paralegal. So she was working underneath the law firm. So she'll get some type of job once he, cheats on her and leaves her for another younger woman.
I do have a question. Remember when, and this is switching gears from the wedding, but when Chelsea and her sister was at that bar, the girl that's modeling, didn't she walk out with a dude?
Chelsea? Yeah, she did.
Who was that?
It was just a random guy.
But they just left her right there because obviously she was at the wedding, which happened after that. But I'm like, because at first I'm like, where's she going? And I thought they were going to go somewhere with that, but, they didn't. So
it was another handsome man. Now, they have brought on all the handsome men, all of us, plenty of varieties, plenty of everything on this show. Mm-hmm. They just said, hey, he's just a fine man. She wanted him that night, and okay, good for her.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it looked like, according to the spoilers for next week, Andre is gonna cause problems between Derek and Ashley.
And another fine man. We were introduced to him in an apron. He's catering to her, simping to her. And I thought they were married. They're just boyfriend and girlfriend.
Right. Did you see? I thought they were married too. Did you see Vanessa's husband?
Right. I'm like, okay, why is she cheating on
him? Exactly. With some dude that is supposed to be a fan or something. I'm like, that's your husband? Girl, what is wrong with you?
And she's cheating on him because he's at work. I'm so sick of these women cheating on these men because they're making money. Like, you got to sacrifice time for the money, and she's cheating on him in disguise. And first, she does not care at all. She's just out in public, no shame, trying to role play. And it was so easy for Danny to spot her. She's like, oh, bring me a martini. We were going to sit and we're going to, oh, who is this? This not your husband. It could have been anybody.
Right.
Who could have did that to her. So she doesn't care whatsoever about her husband, but I do.
Yeah, she's definitely messy. And you can tell how messy she was by the way that, was it in the first episode, when she came by the country club to let Danny know that they were that Haley and Bill were buying a house in the community.
Mm-hmm.
Remember, she did that little drive-by of bad news and then ran out.
Oh yeah, she said like, oh well, I was under contract, so I couldn't say anything. But now the house is sold. They're moving right next door to you. I was like, okay.
Okay, I gotta mention this. So Rachel said in the chat that that was not a random dude. He was a McBride related to Vanessa's husband who was in the car exchanging something with some other guy. So it was a plot point.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because there we did see a scene where them two guys was in the car and they hand each other a card.
So he's
That's right. I forgot about that scene.
I don't know what that was about, but I guess we'll get more context on that.
Was that Vanessa's husband in the car?
I'm trying to remember.
I believe so.
Yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I wonder what's going on with that. See, there's so many like fresh, new, exciting storylines to kind of sink our teeth into. We can't keep up with everything.
Wow. Multiple storylines.
Multiple, girl. That's what you need to kind of keep you like, oh my God, what's going on over here? Oh wow, what's this over here? You know, instead of having one ongoing storyline like Sharon Newman or Luna Nozawa.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And fresh perspective. Everyone has different, careers and
there's so many characters.
Yes.
So
and the sets, I'm still in awe of all the
sets. Clothes, the hair, the sets. I mean, everything just looks great. Bright.
Leslie's hair, when she pulled her head out of that helmet and her hair just kind of, fell over to the side. Oh my gosh.
Girl, beautiful. Look at it right now.
On that picture.
Yes.
Even Carla's hair, when she wore it straight it looks pretty. I like her hair like that. The curly thing, okay, fine. But I like her hair like what she had and that dress she had on at the wedding.
Oh, that dress was bad.
That dress is fire. I can't. She got to be like a size 0.
Yeah, she's definitely tiny. But they had her looking flawless all week. Her, Nicole, but I mean everybody for real. But Nicole, Danny, and Anita were just all like on point all week long.
Yes.
Just gorgeous.
The fashion, opulence, the hair, makeup, everybody looked good. All of the men looked good.
Hey, Tyler, I'm going to say, hey, Tyler Perry, for the sisters. Let them wear their hair over there. You see how the hair is over here? Maybe you ought to borrow the stylist, okay? I mean, seriously, because the girl that plays Fatima, Crystal, her hair is absolutely gorgeous. They throw that blonde wig on her hair. No shape. I know people wear wigs. It is what it is. But I just think that sometimes let these people, her hair is long, thick, and beautiful.
And my thing is, if you're going to put wigs on them, make them look good. Like, I see normal, everyday people that have bomb lace fronts. You can barely tell that it's not their hair. That's what I don't understand. Y'all got all this money. Some of these shows, some of these productions have all this money, and y'all have women looking nuts with these synthetic wigs.
Yeah, even the wigs that they put on Steffy from time to time.
Yeah.
They put 4 wigs on that girl.
Steffy, when Zoe was on the show.
Even when Carla was on the show.
Yeah, all their hair just used to look a mess. And it's like, I would be pissed if I was an actress and y'all made me get on camera looking like that.
Heavy wigs at that, and none of them were ever even in scenes. I used to get so mad every time they did that to Steffi.
Me too. Yes.
Like at least 4 or 5 wigs at a time on that girl.
So y'all remember the year that the Emmys was moved to December, and Jacqueline won at that particular Emmys where she had that black dress with the like pointed top part on the side on the top.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She right during that time period on Bold, she wore her own hair, and then they
Yep.
start throwing wigs back on her.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
because that was when her hair was jet
Dark,
black.
correct.
Yeah.
Sharp and black. Yeah.
And I thought it looked great, just like it was. I'm like, oh, her hair looks so nice, and then they turn around and do the same old crap all over again.
Yeah.
So,
I
Yeah.
don't understand it.
yeah, they don't do that with Lily. Lily wears her hair.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Lily's hair always looks good.
Audra wears her hair, or
Yep.
Zalika.
And when Michelle Morgan was on the show, her hair always looked flawless too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
And it's like some of them like got it together and some of them missed the mark. Whereas Beyond the Gates, everybody is put together on point. Everybody looks sharp, fresh, clean, put together. It's so good. And I'm just like I was like so happy to see Carla. She looked like the star of the show. She is the star of the show.
Yeah, she is.
Yeah, Belinda said that wig is a mess that Amy wears on Y&R.
Speaking of
I
drying,
detest that wig. It makes me so mad.
yeah.
Yeah.
Especially since she was Dee Dee and she had so many different types of hair. So, but you know, this we're just trying to highlight the fact that everything they really up the ante in the soap world as far as the storylines, the fashions, the hair, makeup, you know, the variety of different people and the different careers that they have. And it's just nice to see something fresh and unique on the show.
Yeah.
My favorite thing that I saw this week on Beyond the Gates was the Ebony magazine photo shoot. I thought that was so cool that because we know Ebony magazine is an actual magazine, and I don't know. I just really thought it was cool that they incorporated that into the show, and had them doing a photo shoot and had the magazine covers that Danny had done. They had them framed up on the wall. Like that is really neat. Like it's just the little things like that.
Exactly, V. Carter. He said even the FaceTime phone technology is like we're up with the time.
Yep.
That was just really incredible. And yes, Bobby, they're not buying any forced decorations.
I gotta say, cause see, I'm a Tamara Tooney fan. I've always loved watching her, especially on SVU back in the day. And to see her playing again and that silver hair and everything, she looks amazing.
She was actually the reason I started watching Law and Order.
Oh yeah, she was she would work in the she was in the morgue.
Yeah. Because I loved her on As the World Turns. So when she started doing Law and Order, like, oh, let me see how she acts over on the show. It was always neat to see like your soap opera, your faves on the soap operas lean into other projects.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. So, and especially since that show has been long gone. Well, it comes on, but Tamara Tooney is obviously not on Law and Order now. But, to have her over here, it was, every time I see her, I think about, there was that, I don't know if you guys remember that scene where that crazy dude got into the morgue and started shooting people, and she ended up shot on the floor, and she was trying to redirect everybody to how to help her save her own life. Remember that one?
Yes.
I don't remember that.
Wow.
And she had what's the girl name? You always use her name, Bree.
Olivia Benson.
Yeah. Had her actually take a scalpel and cut into her lungs because her lungs were filling up with blood and she needed that tube put in there. And she directed the whole thing, telling them how to save her. I always remember that scene, but she acted that out so well.
Yeah, she did. She's
look that episode up.
She's a talented actress. I was so happy she was casted on The Gates, and clearly She fits Madame Dupree very well. She's kind of like Stephanie Forrester-esque with the silver and the pantsuit. I love every bit of it. She's one of my favorite characters. Who are you guys' favorites on the show?
Well, I gotta say, Bree, is that when Danny went over there begging to get back with Bill, she was giving me a Brooke moment. So.
Oh yeah, sure was.
Did you say it gave you a Brooke moment?
Yeah, because remember that just happened, with Ridge and then she gonna talk about I'm not gonna go back to your second choice, and then the next day you over there begging that man to come home.
But I love Danny. She's one of my favorite characters. I feel Madame Dupree is going to be one of my favorites. But what about the men? Do you guys have a favorite man?
So I love Martin and Smitty. Him and his husband are so cute.
Very handsome.
They are. And they're just adorable as a couple in general.
Yes.
It's a lot of handsome men on this show. It's hard to pick.
Yeah, there's not one unattractive man.
But if you have one favorite over the other.
I don't know, Bree. That's tough.
I mean, isn't it refreshing that it's tough?
Yes.
I'm looking forward to these plots. The plots coming out, like the whole thing with whether or not Ted could be Eva's daughter, and the nightmares that Martin is having, and what's being held over the Duprees, and all of this other stuff. I like the mystery of those things.
I can't wait to see how that's going to spell out. Black Peony said Martin's husband is her favorite. I agree. Ted, I love Ted. I'm sorry. Because at first it was just Bill. I was like, oh my goodness, tall drink of water. Then we got the scene with Ted that he knocked me out. I was like, who is that?
All I know is that Danny need to, I know Andre get around, but somebody, she needs to get away from Bill. Go find somebody else. All these men on this show. I mean, I know she related to some of them, but some of the ones that she not related to, bring her somebody on. And let Bill get jealous.
Look, it would have to be somebody that equals to Bill or better. Because that's a tall drink of water, and he is fine. I'm pretty sure people have looked at the pictures of the men of the Gates online, and them shirtless, and the muscles, and the arms, and everything.
Ooh, child.
Like I said, options, all of them.
Yeah, I'm curious to see how everything unfolds. I'm assuming they wouldn't be part of the Emmy year for this year, but to see if they get some nods in 26.
I would be shocked if they didn't.
Right.
I
know Carla definitely have to be up for one.
Absolutely.
For lead, without question.
Yep, she's acting her butt off.
The first episode is like, man, we're in for a treat.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then when the look on her face when she pushed Andre on that bed, she looked like she was about to devour him.
And she sure did.
I was not expecting a full love scene in the first week.
Listen, I ain't complaining. Now I know Jay and Bree was like it was I was just happy to get it because we ain't had nothing on those other two. And I don't count Billy and Sally either.
Oh, I keep forgetting about them. Look, we had 2 love scenes on Beyond the Gates. I think that Naomi and her husband, Jacob, who's also fine, they had hotter, spicier chemistry. He pulling her in and everything. Like I said, not to say that Danny and Andre didn't have chemistry. They did, but I think it was okay. It was more than what we got all of last year from
Right.
the
And
other
then the
shows.
music composition on the show as well.
Mm-hmm.
They gave
And
us a
with that,
little something when they had the fireplace and clothes was all over the floor. Listen, we ain't had that type of stuff in a minute.
yes. So that they already raised the bar when it comes to that. So I'm wondering if the other soaps are going to take note of that.
Oh, they already have, which is why we see what we see. That's all I'm gonna
Yeah.
say.
Yeah.
So they knew, which is why they was like, we're gonna have to add some stuff.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But I was so happy that we got some real soap drama, the slaps, the punches, the like over like dramatic, yelling, screaming. Like the picture I'm looking at right now where Carlin has the whole gun up at the wedding. I'm like, yes, we got soaps. This is soapy.
Hey,
Do y'all
listen.
think that's a dream?
Yeah, that's what I was just gonna say. A lot of people are saying that she is daydreaming about taking her out.
I mean, I would be disappointed. But if it's a dream, then that's fine.
I mean, because obviously that's attempted, so
Mm-hmm.
yeah, that would pigeonhole the character. Because I can tell you, Bill being an attorney, oh, she would be done.
Yeah. But
So
if it's a dream, it is what it is. I mean, eventually, Little Heifer, as Anita Dupree called her, she's gonna get what's coming to her.
mm-hmm.
So maybe it was not Danny. It's definitely gonna be her husband.
Mm-hmm.
Her future husband to be.
Well, hold up. The way that Anita looked at all the men when they stood up.
Girl, yeah. She was like, "What? Y'all better sit down somewhere."
Right. Like, what are y'all doing?
And
Yeah.
all the Duprees just sat down.
They sure did.
All in black. Like, it was so awkward. You got Haley coming down, is all extra happy. She is so delusional. She in her own world. She should just be happy that anybody has shown up.
Right.
Airhead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's stupid. And then when this whole thing come falling apart, she probably gonna crawl back to her friend. I'm sorry, he did this to me. And I'm like, well, you signed up for that, girlfriend.
Yeah, you gave your cookies to my daddy. No, you good.
I've seen some people speculating that, or at least hoping that this is all an act from Haley, and maybe she targeted the Duprees because, apparently she's supposed to be an orphan. She didn't have any family. And that maybe she targeted the Duprees and got Naomi to befriend her. And maybe there's something that happened that caused her to be an orphan that Anita and Vernon caused or something like that. And this has just all been like a long-term plan of revenge. And she's like gonna gut them from the inside or something like that. I'm like, that would be a nice
that
twist.
would be a definite plot twist, but
Yeah.
I didn't, based on the spoilers and stuff, like Jenna said, there's no mention of the shooting on the spoilers, so
Okay.
I'm wondering if she put that thing in her purse, dreamed about it, but didn't go through with it. But in regards to what you were saying, Keish, I mean, anything is possible if they got Haley playing the long game with this situation.
Yeah. I mean, they already have another girl. They have Eva trying to
get the Ted, right.
Yeah. So I wouldn't put it past them. And it would be actually interesting if Eva and Haley were actually related.
Well, let me ask y'all this, because they mentioned, remember, Andre's dad is gone. What happened to his dad? Somebody got rid of him?
No, they were in a plane crash.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Okay.
Both his parents were in a plane crash. Because that's why I remember Nicole, it was either Nicole or Ted that said that's the reason why they don't travel together. They don't fly together because
Okay.
of his parents dying in a plane crash.
Right.
Yeah. But
Gotcha.
Eva said she didn't know what happened to her dad. Well, actually, no, it was Haley. She said she didn't know what happened to her dad. Like he just up and disappeared. So that makes me wonder if they were to go that route with the Duprees, and she's trying to, you know, come after them some type of way. I can see that being her motivation, but it just. I'm wondering if maybe because I think somebody also said in the chat, like, what if her father is Vernon or one of the Dupree men? That would be interesting. Like, there's just so, and that would make her technically Danny and Nicole's sister.
Right.
So there's just so many different ways they can spin it. It's just so fresh and new and exciting. So I'm really curious to see how the storylines are going to spell out.
Yep, same here. Well, I am definitely looking forward to seeing what is next, especially with all the little twists and turns and multiple storylines for everything. And, I'm really impressed. It took me the first day or so to figure out who's who. Especially with me, like I told Bree, especially with me trying to do the recaps on them, I'm trying to okay, who's that? And that's who. And so that's where I was kind of stuck at. But once the week progressed and the dots start connecting, then I'm like, okay, yeah, I'm hooked. So.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right.
I did have to refer to the cast roster a few times here and there the first few episodes just to keep people straight, but
yeah,
it's coming together now.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm remembering by looking like, oh yeah, that's so and so. Oh yeah, that's so and so.
Yeah.
So
I think the men were the hardest to keep straight.
Really?
Right. Yeah. Because I feel like Jacob and Andre, they looked at I thought that was the same person in the first episode.
Right.
And then eventually we saw different scenes with them, but. Either which way, it's exciting to see.
It is.
I'm glad I created a cheat sheet y'all saw in the chat
of
the careers and everything that people had.
Right.
So I'm so happy about this. This is really exciting. We're getting even more characters.
Yep. And then Katie McLean showed up today.
Oh yeah, she did. She's Danny's best friend, right?
Yep.
I'm all for that.
And then what's the other guy that's coming on? He'll be on next week.
Oh, is that when he starts?
Yeah.
His character starts. Okay. I was wondering.
Yep.
See him. I wonder what role he's playing. Do you know?
Let me see if I thought I seen something. Give me a second.
I don't know. I wouldn't put it past him to make him the husband.
The husband?
Yeah, Katie's husband or something.
Let me see. John Lindstrom. Doug gets some much needed assistance from Joey, who makes his Beyond the Gates debut, played by none other than daytime vet John Lindstrom. So he plays a guy by the name of Joey.
Okay.
Yeah. Yep. So that's how he's going to show up. All right. So how many people we got in the chat, Bree?
We got over 100 people in the chat.
Okay, gotcha. All right, make sure you guys hitting that like button, subscribe to the channel. We're going to do our final 5 segments. Flip the script, who's taking several seats, star of the week, pickle of the week, and Simp Olympics. So for Y&R, who do you have? I mean, what did you want to flip?
For Y&R,
I'm gonna flip the whole darn week because
that's a very good choice.
Yeah, because I mean, yeah. What you got, Bree?
If I were to flip anything, I really can't think of anything,
Yeah.
to be honest. Like I would flip instead of like having Phyllis and Sharon call and say they're okay. Like I was hoping maybe they both would have called Nick, and then he would see like, okay, something's up. They're both calling me from a block number, and they're both doing such and such to kind of move the storyline along. I really don't know.
Yeah. I don't blame you. Okay, what you flipping on Bowl, y'all?
Steffi listening when Daphne was saying like, oh, you should negotiate and tell them that they should keep hope for the future.
That's a good one. If Steffi had heard that, she would have been pissed. I brought you all the way up in here to get the company back, and then you gonna tell us to keep hope for the future? Tell Carter
Yeah.
to tell us to keep hope for the future, and then get a company back to us. No.
Yeah, you on a red eye.
Mm-hmm.
We both once.
Exactly. Girl, I couldn't believe she said that. When I heard that, I'm like, wait, what? What about you, Keish?
A flip, a flip.
Can't think of nothing, huh?
I honestly can't. I guess. Oh, gosh, I don't know. I can't think of a good flip for Bold this week.
Shoot,
I
I
have
would
another
have.
one.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say, put Hope in a cuter outfit.
Oh. Yeah. I'm just so disappointed in this whole thing. They should have gave him that company back by now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm over this whole coup because it's stupid, and he looks like a weak leader because yes, his ideas might be working, but and Hope is just telling him what to do, and he's doing
Basically.
it. Yep. What you flipping on BTG?
I would have removed that whole scene of Danny begging Bill to take her back.
I agree.
We ain't need it.
No, for what? Especially after that should have been enough to at least hold her over for a day. That's what even Andre told her. Andre said, even if it's just for one night, shoot. What you say, Bree?
I said it didn't last that long. So clearly she was doing every type of trick, and he said that, look, I can do better with my ex-husband. But if I were to flip something, I would have loved for Naomi to like go into Haley's room while she was getting ready and go off on her versus just sitting in the waiting room. I was waiting for that scene. Like, look, before you marry my dad, I'm going to say my piece.
I would have had them deny having that wedding there. That's crazy. I mean, it was bad enough you moved into the house next door.
Yeah. So I wondered about that too. Like, why would they even allow him to have the wedding there? But I feel like if they would have denied them using the facility, that Bill would have threatened them again.
That's true.
I feel like Bill gets what he wants because he's got whatever secrets that he saw. Which the other thing is, Vernon told him like, this is the last favor you'll ever get from a Dupree, and it's like, I mean, if he still knows whatever this
exactly.
Exactly. He can hold that over your head for however long he wants to until you're okay with the secret coming out.
Yeah, Victor does it all the time. Yep, I agree. All right, who's taking seats on Y&R? I'm gonna put Lily in the seat for opening her big old mouth.
Oh yes, that's a good one. Yep.
Yeah, and then I'm gonna throw Michael along there with her for once again showing up, becking call of Victor and say, like, "Oh, I'm so happy that you're alive. We want to keep you around. What you want me to do? Something for Jabot? Want me to keep tabs on this for you?
Right.
Just a total lapdog."
Yeah. Yeah, both Michael and
Lily
Lily.
like that.
Oh man, what you got, Keish? You gonna use Lily?
Yeah, Lily can have a seat.
Yeah.
She annoyed me even getting Victor involved. There was no need for any of that.
No. Nah, he all up in the business.
Right.
Um, who's taking seats on Bold?
Finn and Luna, both.
The fashion department.
Wow. I'm gonna
Hope's
have
dress or Daphne's dress.
I'm gonna have Daphne taking a seat for talking about tell them to keep hope for the future. Girl, you Steffi heard you. She would have been hotter than fish grease. Yep. All right, and then who's taking seats on BTG?
I gotta give my girl Danny a seat for even taking herself up to his room to beg for him back.
Yeah.
She gotta take a seat for that one.
I'm gonna get Leslie a seat for running that girl off the road just to get a job for that other girl.
Oh yeah.
Right. That poor girl. She had me. I'm about to cry, but like I felt for that girl in that scene. I'm like, who would do this?
And then
to
she
me?
telling a bold-faced lie to her mama.
Just so you sitting at the table with that girl's mama too,
Right?
And you do this to her.
And y'all supposed to be friends. Oh yeah, by the way, you know Ava can take her job while she trying to get better. I'm like, wow.
Yeah. Leslie was the definition of doing too much.
And she's a true villain.
Yes, she is. She definitely know how to play that villain role. I agree with that.
My seat is actually going to be Vernon and Anita for even basically caving into what Bill has over them. Because, like, to put their daughter through that, whatever the secret was that Martin has, I'm pretty sure that over the years they have secrets on Bill too. But to force Danny to go there, like, just let that girl go to Paris. They could have had the family be there, but they didn't have to put Danny through any of that.
Right. Exactly. All right. Star of the week, Y&R. I'm going to give it to both Sharon and Michelle because they were throwing some fun. And they had a little bit of comic relief in that whole thing.
Yeah, I actually didn't mind. I mean, I'm annoyed that they put Sharon in another kidnapping storyline.
Right.
But I did find a couple of funny moments in their scenes. I thought was pretty funny. And then when I think it was today's episode, like the opener was the two of them laying next.
Right, that picture's on my screen.
I thought that was cute.
The star, I'm going to give it to Jigsaw.
Oh, the guy on the intercom?
Yeah. I gotta give it to him for being so intricate, to have the coffee start automatically, to be making hell for both Sharon and Phyllis. I'm gonna give it to Jigsaw.
I can't wait to see who this is behind this.
Yeah, well, I just want it to be over.
TA said Sharon's been kidnapped for a year.
I mean,
that's what it feels like.
Either she's been under the influence of something, and then she get kidnapped, thrown in the sewer, and now she's back kidnapped along with Phyllis.
I guess at least this time she has an actual person to talk to make it more entertaining.
I guess, girl. All right. Star of the week, Bold. Actually, I'm gonna give it to Tanner. Tanner actually shedded some tears today. So.
When?
He shedded some tears today. I was looking for him too.
Look, I had to go back on the scenes. You said that he was shedding a tear. I was like, okay, I see 3. That's more than what we've ever gotten from him.
So somebody must
So
have heard us and told Tanner, listen, you got to shed some tears, my guy. Make it good.
right,
So he
because
been
he be
practicing.
yes. Every time his face swells up and he scrunches his face up, I'd be so hopeful. So we at least got 3 tears this week. So I'm good with that.
I
And
mean,
I'll believe you
listen,
if there was a few today. I didn't
Bree,
see them, but I believe you.
he not only had tears, but his nose is running too.
I saw somebody online say he did the Viola Davis with a runny nose.
Right, his nose, he had some, and his nose was running.
I agree with you. I'm actually was gonna give it to Tanner and Jackie both because I loved the episode. I don't know if that was yesterday or the day before, where Steffi is going through all these like it was like a range of emotions after he said it was Luna,
Mm-hmm.
and it was like she was frantic, then she was angry, and then it was just like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. I thought she executed that very well.
Mm-hmm.
I'll give it to I agree with you, Keish. I'll give it to Tanner and Jacqueline. I think their scenes together, the different range of emotions, they definitely hit the mark this week.
Yeah.
Okay. And then start of the week, bold. And I know Carla's been killing it.
You mean BTG?
BTG, yes. Carla's
Yeah.
been.
Carla,
Mm-hmm.
Carla, the hair and makeup department, the writing,
Mm-hmm.
all stars this week.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, definitely Carla.
Yep. Okay. Pickle of the week, Y&R.
Sharon being kidnapped again.
Mm-hmm.
That whole storyline.
I'm gonna give it to Michael because he's just like, God.
Y'all stay on Michael's.
Because he looked pathetic.
He makes it easy for us. Every week, you just showing up just happy to see Victor. We don't ever see him have this happiness and excitement for his wife.
Right. He always be up on the Victor.
I need them to bring Michael's family back. I need his brother or his mother, something. So he stopped calling up Victor's butt all the time.
I agree.
Mr. Newman.
Mm-hmm.
That's Divine, ain't it? Mr.
Yep,
Newman.
Mr. Newman.
Yeah. My pickle is Lily because you had a whole brother who's rich who can get that same information. Or you could even be like, look, I want to look into what's going on with Damien, loan me some money, but anything, but go to Victor.
Yeah. And why are they even investigating him in the first place? They ain't trying to do business with the man.
He being
Exactly.
nosy.
Yeah.
That's all it is. He has no idea that this man is actually Nate's half brother, and trying to reconnect with his mama and all this other stuff. And he's talking about, oh, I gotta protect Winters. You don't care nothing about Winters. You just being nosy.
And Michael said, well, Lily's family. What are you so happy for? She's by marriage. He wants to be a Newman so badly.
Yeah, girl. Oh, man. Okay, who's your pickle for bold?
This whole paternity storyline. That's the pickle.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it to Hope. She's so selfish. That poor man is struggling. And she's like, suck it up, buttercup.
I don't feel sorry for Carter.
Oh.
He brought this on himself.
Well, that is true.
Yeah, I gotta agree with Keish on that. I'm gonna give it to Hope. Like you said, T, she's incredibly selfish, and also she's more focused on every other line but hope for the future. Sorry, tacky for the future.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I think the scenes that she had with Zende today was the first time we've maybe seen them together where it looks like they may have been working on hope for the future stuff.
please. I mean, the jewelry line and the fragrance line got out faster than Hope for the Future. I mean, they've been trying to get that line off the ground since Thomas left, and that's been almost coming up on a year.
Yep.
And they took over the company before Christmas.
Right.
So she had plenty of time to pull out some fashions, but you mean to tell me we had a whole jewelry line and a fragrance line that came out before her clothing line? And
Right.
she's more excited about the luxury brand than anything that she's going to produce for us Hope for the Future.
Exactly.
And then they had a hand in neither one of them.
Nope.
Right, exactly. The successful things that happen over at Forrester has nothing to do with her.
Yeah, the perfume fell into their lap because of Steffi. And Bridge and Eric were the ones that approved the jewelry line.
Right.
Yep.
That is true. Yep. So they really didn't have no hand in nothing. Not a thing. And then Pickle of the Week for BTG.
He's my man, and I love to look at Bill, but he deserves a pickle. He was a jerk, you know, but I forgive him because he's...
I'm going to get that pickle to Haley because she is on Delulu Island.
Yeah, I'll join you on that one. Haley for sure. Also, can I say for another star on Beyond the Gate, there was a post about the scene when Danny punches Haley, and there you can see the bartender in the background, like one of the extras in the background. It was hilarious because it was like his facial expressions. He had this glass in his hand that he was like supposed to be drying or whatever, but it was that same glass, and he was like drying the heck out of that glass. Confrontation. I'll
send it to us.
Send it to you guys. But I was cracking up. I'm like, those extras are extraing very hard, and it was so funny. I loved it.
And so was Karen Huger.
Yeah.
Like, we saw she had a little line for 10 seconds, but her facial expression, she was working them facial expressions. I was oh. I'm like, they only gave this woman 10 seconds.
Yep.
The Grand Dame.
The Grand Dame, which is who basically Anita is on this show.
All right, and do we have a Simp Olympic winner?
Oh, goodness.
I mean...
It's really between Michael and Danny at this point.
Yeah, because Danny going up in there talking to Bill, trying to get this man to come home. We thought it was bad when Brooke did it. That was horrible.
Yeah, I think Danny was probably more embarrassing than what Michael did this week.
I mean, granted, he's an honorable mention. He deserves silver without question. But Danny Gold this week, she's committing assaults. And then, like, she was sleeping with that fine man, and then she chewed him up, spit him out hours later, and then goes to this man's office and say, "Take me back. Take me back."
Can we give a bronze to Damien, because this man is doing all this stuff in order to get next to Lily, including talk to his mama, because he really don't want to talk to his mama.
I agree with that. That's Lily's his only motivation. Like, just disrespectful. And the thing is, I don't think we've ever seen her with scenes with her and Amy. But she cares more about what's going on with Amy than he does.
Yep. All right. Is that everything?
I think so.
It was a good show, actually. And we did it in 2 hours and 20 minutes.
See?
Yeah, I was worried. I'm like, oh, I can't do it 3.5 hours. But well, I guess I got to thank the writers of YNR for that one, because we were done in a half an hour on Young and the Restless.
And I think half an hour. And I think half an hour to 45 minutes with Bold. I mean, they made it easier for us. I think they knew what was coming.
Yep. They knew the hype was going to be around the conversations for, Beyond the Gates. And that's cool. We had a good time with it, especially jumping into this week. They are on point. Their spoilers were out early. So, and because Bold, I got to check, but the last time I did check, the Bold didn't have these spoilers out yet. So I'm like, here we go again.
I see them.
They out now?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so I can post them.
Lying.
Girl, I don't even trust Bold. The way they hey, Keish, we was talking about this earlier before you came on, but that spoiler that they gave us on Wednesday or Thursday about how Ridge was coming back into power.
Oh, yeah. I don't know who wrote that one.
Yeah, I know. Everybody was excited about that.
It's almost like they said, just pick something random out of the hat and we'll just make that the spoiler for Friday or Thursday, whatever day that was supposed to be.
Yeah.
Just something random. It doesn't matter if it's going to happen or not. It's like...
But not something like that, though. Everybody's that was serious. Like, we're all finally, they're going to get a company back. No, didn't happen.
Yeah, but even when we saw that, we felt like it was a little bit odd because there was nothing, they hadn't really built up to anything other than the conversation with Ridge and Carter.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that was last week.
Right.
Yeah.
So
it would have felt like, honestly, it would have kind of just came out of nowhere.
Right.
Like an abrupt ending to it.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
It was Luna's sweeps month, this entire month.
I know, right? Oh,
the
God.
entire month, y'all.
Mm-hmm. And then we get down to the end of the sweeps month, and here we go. He finally meets Luna. Now what happens? I'm not going to even rehash that conversation.
It's basically Sheila 2.0.
Yep, pretty much. Pretty much. Pass the baton. Yep. All right, you guys, we're going to end it right there. Make sure that you hit that like button on the way out. And yes, Belinda, I'm glad you had a lot of fun. She said this was a lot of fun, especially Beyond the Gates. Everyone have a blessed and highly favored weekend. I totally agree with that. And stay tuned for the spoilers for the week of March the 3rd through the 7th. We are the 3rd month of the year already. Time is flying. We just said Happy New Year.
Right. Yeah. My birthday is almost here.
I know. Your birthday coming up in about 2-3 weeks. So.
Yeah. March 20th.
Yep.
20.
Yep. It's Pisces season.
Yes, it is.
Yes. All right, you guys. We'll end it there. And until next time, see you guys later. Bye, Soapies.